let me know in the chat and we'll call upon you to ask questions. We'll go ahead and get started with Jeff Ferrato from Cal Sports Report. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Bill.
Hello. Good morning.
Hey, congratulations on your offense's nice performance on Saturday. Can you just talk about, you seem to roll out some trick plays, and it looked like you were having a lot of fun calling up some different stuff on Saturday.
Oh, the conventional plays were the big ones. Those were great. We hit a couple conventional runs, a G scheme, a power scheme, and then we hit a slant. So I like those really the best. Those were big chunks for us. So the guys made them come to life.
And can you talk a little bit about Marcel Dancy and the game he had? And he had, you have a very crowded running backs room with a lot of talented guys, and he hasn't contributed a lot in games this year, but boy, he had a great game on Saturday.
Yeah, he works hard every day. He's always ready. He's always ready when we call his number, no matter what the role might be or might include. So he's consummate team player, and of course he's got a lot of ability too. Just excited for him to make such a tremendous contribution on Saturday.
And what's his role within that running backs room as one of the older guys?
Oh, definitely a leader. Yeah, he's a leader, not just of the running back room, but of the entire offense and the entire team.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks.
We'll go to Trace Travers from Rivals. Go ahead, Trace.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to follow up on Jeff's question about the trick plays. You guys ran the hook and ladder as one of them. Cal ran a similar one in a big game a few years ago. Did you draw any inspiration from that?
Oh, we're always drawing inspiration from other offenses, both this year and in years past. So trying to keep up with the Joneses and keeping up with the current trends, that's for sure. And we've worked on a number of our exotics and trick plays, throughout the season. And it just so happened, some defenses are more susceptible to them than others. And so it worked out. Okay. We wish it would have been worked out a little bit better, but felt like the time was right the other night.
Yeah. And looking ahead to UCLA on Saturday, they have an aggressive defense. What stands out about their front?
Yeah, very active group. They're not the biggest group, they don't weigh the most, but they're active and they're dynamic. So there's a lot to clarify for our players and a lot to process and digest as we watch all the film to try to boil it down for our guys this week.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Then we'll go to David Bush from Bear Insider.
Yeah, Trace kind of jumped the gun on my question, but also could you get a little more specific about the UCLA secondary and the guys they have back there and the sort of defenses they play?
Yeah, the secondary is a good group. They've made a lot of plays. Carnell Lake's son is making interceptions left and right, number 37, from the safety spot. And they've got some good players. Their nickel back is really active. They bring him as a rusher, probably more than they put him in coverage. So he's a playmaker.
And do they zone, man? They tend to do one more than the other, or do they mix it up?
Yeah, they mix it up pretty well. They do a good job of mixing up and keeping themselves unpredictable.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
There you guys. Anybody else? Trace, go ahead, Trace.
Just you guys threw for, I want to say, 200 yards in the first half against Stanford, and then you ran for nearly 300 in the second half. What changed about Stanford that allowed you to run for more? Was it just some of those G plays opening up for you, or was it something else?
Yeah, we really try to get the most out of our halftime adjustments. Sometimes the things we talk about and determine at halftime come to fruition, and at other times we continue to spin our wheels, but we felt like we were spinning our wheels a little bit with the run game in the first half. So really the predominant amount of time that we spent in the locker room at halftime was based on the offensive, approach to the run game. So we sat in our coach's locker room for a long, long time there before we even went out there to share what we thought with the players. So had some great thoughts and exchanges between Aristotle and Jeep and Angus. They had some really good thoughts on the run game, and that was the impetus for us to be better running the ball in the second half.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like Jeff Ferraro has another question as well. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, Bill, kind of sticking with that, I'd be interested to know sort of about the process. You said that the coaches will meet together at halftime and sort of discuss what you think should be done. How hard or easy is it to then implement that and translate it to the players so that in a short period of time they understand what it is you're trying to tweak?
Yeah, that's what we want to be good at, is making adjustments, not just at halftime, but really in between series as well. So our coaches up in the box share with us what they're seeing from up there, and we have our charts and formulas, and then we put our heads together both in between series and at halftime to really try to stay ahead of the defense rather than one play behind them.
And so then do you pass that on to mostly Chase as your quarterback or the entire offense, or how's it get from you guys to them?
Yeah, the entire offense. And then they're out there in the locker room, and we have whiteboards in there that we can draw on and talk about what the defense is doing and talk about what our plan is to combat what they're presenting.
Sounds like a lot to transfer in a short period of time, right?
Well, it is at times, and we felt like we wanted to dramatically improve in the second half from what we did in the first half. So our guys were, they're so sharp, so attentive, and so coachable that it's pretty streamlined with the group of players that we have.
Thanks.
Hey, David Bush has another question. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Coach. So, of course, last year you said you weren't able to install your entire offense because obviously practice time limited, et cetera. This year, have you installed it all now, or do you add plays as the season goes along? How does that work? Is it everything done at the end of fall camp, or do you change as the season goes on?
Yeah, we have a cumulative list that usually gets installed in the spring and the summer. And then as we go through the season, there may be a quarter turn adjustment here or there where we amend a certain concept or adopt a concept that we haven't yet presented or installed, but not more than, one or two, or at most half a dozen per week. It's, we stay with the concepts that we feel like we have adequate turns on through the off season.
And some of those gadget plays, are they in from the beginning, or did you add them as you came along?
Yeah, from the beginning. We definitely like to work on things. We're not a big 1 week wonder group. We want to work on things over a period of weeks and show the players all the various possibilities that could happen on the defensive side of the ball, so they're prepared for whatever might happen in a game.
Thank you.
Anybody else with a final question?